Okay, this next tune we're going to do is Brand New Companion by Townes Van Zandt off of the Live at Old Quarter album. And we've already done, well, we've done a bunch of Townes, but we also did Poncho and Lefty from this same album or same live concert. Now, this was kind of tricky to transcribe, one, because I think this might have been in the second set where Townes might have had a couple drinks, and his timing was still really cool, but it was it was moving in a lot of different, well, not a lot of different places, but it was a little wobbly. And also, I was kind of having to fight a lot of things. I can almost tell you exactly when the air conditioner kicks on, or someone swirls their gin and tonic, or a low conversation in the background. There's a lot to kind of compete with to transcribe this accurately. So I did the best job I can. I think it's pretty good. And what I did was I transcribed the entire intro in one verse. So that's about 24 bars or so. And you can kind of tell that Townes was a big Lightning Hopkins fan, as a lot of these licks are in that vein. Let's see, what else? Well, I think that's about it. So I'm going to run through the intro and the verse, and then I'm going to break it down. So it's a long breakdown because these lines and these licks are pretty intricate. So you might want to get a cup of coffee, or be prepared to kind of work through this one over, I don't know, 2 weeks, a month. It took me a long time to transcribe it and learn it myself. So be patient. Okay, let's run through it, and then we'll break it down. Here we go. Got a brand new companion. Man, I wanna do my best this time. Got a brand new companion. Man, I wanna do my best this time. No, she cools me with a breathing, chases away those howling bottles of wine. And as far as this intro goes, we're basically playing over a 12-bar form, in E, a 12-bar blues form, and we're using a shuffle type feel. So 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, which is kind of typical amongst Lightning Hopkins or someone like that. You can tell that Townes is probably listening to a lot of Lightning Hopkins. We start off with this pickup here. And what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the 3rd fret on my B string and pitching strings 1, 2, and 3 with thumb, index, and middle, right? So thumb on 3, index on 2, middle on 1. And so I start off 1, 2, 3. Right, that's my first lick. So I pinch, then I'm hammering on here, index to ring, on the B string in my left hand. Right. Okay, so I have 3, 4. And then what I'm doing after I pinch those first 5s is alternating between my index and my middle. Now I'm going to pull off 5, 3, 0, then open G. Right. Okay, so that's my first lick. 3, 1, and 2, and 3, and Now, here's my next lick. Right. So I'm going to quickly hammer on, and this is all on strings 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to quickly hammer on my index to fret 1. So that's the first part. Then, so all that next part is off the B and the E string. Right. Now I'm going to grab this lick. So I'm pinching both my E strings with my thumb and my middle in my right hand and pulling off my ring in my left off this 3 on the high E. And then hitting the open G. So that second lick, slower, right. Now here's my next E lick. So far we were still in E and we haven't gone to the 4 chord yet, or the A chord. Okay, so here's my third measure. So I'm starting off with my index on the G string, first fret, right? Then thumb, middle. Then I'm grabbing 3 and 0, 3 on the B string, sliding to 5. Pinching those 2 notes, doing a triplet, 2 and then alternating index, middle, then pulling off 3, 0, then open G. Here it is. Right. Yeah, that's your third lick there, or third measure. Now we get to measure 4 and I have this. And again I'm in E major and I'm hammering on 1 on the G string. And I'm not doing it as quick, so I gotta make this a triplet. 1 and, okay, and then I finish off 2nd fret on the D string with my middle finger here. Right, and I'm playing all this with my thumb so far. Then sliding 3 to 4 on the G string, then open E, open B, then 4, 3, then 2, 0, pulling off on the G, then open D. So that last 4, 3, 2, 0 are all on the G string. Here's that lick real slow. Right. Right. Good, all right. That's our first 4 licks. Let's try that together with the pickup coming in on beat 4. Real slow. 1 and 2, 3 and Okay, good. Now we have our first A chord, and I'm going to play this lick. Real cool. All right, so what I'm doing is my thumb on my right hand is playing that A string, establishing the bass note. Then I'm grabbing open A, open E, 2nd fret on the B, then open high E, then 2nd fret, and I'm sliding 2 to 5 on the high E. Right, and then I'm playing that 5 oh, let's see here, 2 and 3 and that many times. Oops. So. Then I finish off on the E string, pulling off 3 to 0, and then quickly 0 to 1 on the G string. Right, so that measure there is 3 and 4 and again. Right. Now we're going to do another A lick, and it's kind of similar. And here it is. Again. 3 and 4 and again, I'm establishing that bass on the downbeat with my thumb. Play the open A string, then the open E, 2nd fret on the B, then I'm hammering on 2 to 3 on the high E, playing another 3, then pulling off 3 to 2 on the high E, then open E, and I'm not going to pull off to the open E. So far. Yep, then on the B string, pulling off 2 to 0, and then open G, in which I'm going to get ready to hammer onto the 1st fret on the open G to get back into the E chord. So here's that lick. So far, our next 2 measures of G sound like this. 3 and 4 and, sorry, our next 2 measures of A. I don't know where I got G. All right, so the 4 chord. 3 and 4 and, Okay, now we're back into our E chord, and I'm hammering into that 1 on the G string from the previous measure. So here's my pickup. Right, so I hammer into that 1. And then I'm gonna hammer into the 1 on the G, play the open E. My middle finger to my left hand goes to the 2nd fret on the D string, kind of like an E chord, right? So we're playing an E7, and I hit this 2 with my thumb, or the D string. Then I grab the 3rd fret on the B string with my ring, right? So I have, and then I'm going to roll that again. Thumb, 1, 2, thumb. So my thumb and my index and my middle at that point are all on the D, B, and E string. And I finish off with my thumb, that phrase, on the D string. Then I do this. Right. And I grab the 3rd fret on the low E, then the high E, open G, and then get ready to hammer on for the next measure of E to 1 on the G. Right, so with the hammer-ons, entering into that measure sounds like this. Right. Okay. Now, another measure of E. Again, I'm hammering into it, so I'm picking up. Again. And what I'm doing is I'm hammering into that 1 on the G again, playing my open E and B, index and middle, low E is open, then 2, 4 on the A string, then 2 on the D string. So I have, I'm going to walk up into this kind of B7 lick, and I'm doing all just straight triplets. And I'm grabbing the open E, 3rd fret, and then on the A string, 0, 1, 2, and then D, open D string. So that measure there is right. Again. Now our B chord finally comes, our B7, and I'm doing this lick. That's it. Oops, too many twos. Okay, so I'm grabbing my B7 in my left hand, and I'm just strumming with my thumb across strings 5, 4, and 3. Then my pinky goes down to the 2nd fret on the high E, and I grab that melody note. With my middle finger in my right hand. Now I'm going to do this lick here. And I'm grabbing 2 2s again on the high E, sliding into the 3rd fret, back to the 2nd fret, then open E. So that's your lick there. Then you're grabbing 2 on the B string, then 2 again, and then opening right to open B. So, and then hammering on 0 to 1 on the G string. Right, so you have. That's it. Right. Good. Now we're going to grab another A chord, and this is kind of the turnaround here. And I'm doing this lick. Yeah, 3 and 4 and So what I'm doing there is I'm grabbing the A string with my thumb, and then I'm grabbing the B and the E string, and I'm gripping 2 with my left hand on the B string, and then E is open. Right, so that's how I start off that A lick. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide 2 to 5. Oops. 2 to 5, then play open E, then this 5 again on the B, and I'm going to do it again, 5, 0, 5. So, then 5, 0, 5 again, right on the same 2 strings. Then I'm going to move back to the 3rd fret on the B string, pull it off to open, then hit the G string with my thumb. Now we're back into our E chord, and I'm playing this lick here. So pretty similar lick. And what I'm doing is quickly I'm hammering on 0 to 1, then open E, 2nd fret on the D string, fleshing out this E chord, and then I'm going to slide 3 to 5. And I'm going to play the open E. So 3 to 5 on the B. Then open E again, 5, and then 5, 0, 5 like we've seen on the B and E, back to B. Yep. Then pulling off 3 to 0 on the B string, and open G. Right, so that measure there is. Right. Good. Now our last measure, going in from an E to a B7 is all I'm doing is I'm a little less quickly hammering on 0 to 1 on the G string. We've seen this lick a lot. then 2nd fret on the D string, fleshing out that E chord. Then I grab 3 on the E string, open 0, 1, 2, all on the A. Yep. And then once I get to this 2 here, that's my B7. There's B7. I'm going to finish off with this melody. Open B, 2nd fret on the high E twice, pulling off to open E, then open G. Right. Right. And that's your intro. Okay? Whew, that is a long one. All right, now let's look at the verse.